Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday evening podcast. I appreciate you coming, those of you that came. This is the last of the training series that we're doing. I am experimenting with the sunglasses to get your attention, for one thing. If you think I should be wearing sunglasses during the podcast, please email me or call me. Let me know so that I'll know whether I should be wearing them all the time or not. I've been watching a podcast with a guy, and this one guy is wearing his glasses all the time. And other podcasts say people want to have eye contact with you. So I don't know if you just want to see my pretty blue eyes or you'd rather see the sunglasses. I know it's difficult for me to see my stuff with the sunglasses on, so I think I'll take them off. But anyway, I thought I'd add a little humor for tonight to start. Since this is the last training session that we'll have, this one's only going to take about 20 minutes, 25 at the most. Would like to let you know that next week we're going to have Sierra Sky on. She's an old, longtime friend of mine, and I did some different investigations with her, like the Hill House in North Texas, and also we went to Mineral Wells there to the Baker Hotel. We did some investigations in Gainesville. They're around that area. But anyway, I had been a guest on their podcast that they used to do under Sierra Spirit Rescue was the name of their organization. Now, it had gone defunct, and I was looking for Sierra to help me on a particular investigation that I have going. She's dealt with, sexual assault by evil spirits, and she's an expert on that. So I had a person that had contacted me about that. So I did want to get the best we could for our client. So I had tried to get hold of Sierra for about 2 weeks. I found that the Spirit Rescue site was back up. And actually, I was able to log into it with my old login credentials from 2014. So I was kind of pleased. I didn't know it, had gone down, but apparently she had just gotten it put up. When I got in contact with her, she had just gotten it put back up. And so I was probably the first visitor. And I guess it's paranormal working. If you get down to it, that I went to looking for her at about the time she got this going. And she's also got a book out now that she's publishing about the experience that she's had. But anyway, she's going to be our guest next Sunday. If you're interested in that sort of thing and having to deal with evil spirits, Sierra's person, our go-to person on that, and the one I'll call myself. So anyway, please tune in next week for her podcast with us. And I may go live with it. I don't know if we're going to have it on Zoom or whether we'll have it on a separate channel going live. But we'll make that decision this week, and I'll try to post it on our website. In the meantime, back to tonight's episode, which is about ghost hunting teams. Should you go solo? Should you join a team? What are the pros and cons of each? Well, we're going to delve into that. Just hang in here. Here we go. I'm going to start sharing my screen. Joining a ghost hunting team. This is by me, John Strobin, and my email address is shown there for you, houstonghost@gmail.com. My phone number, my personal cell, 713-253-0685 if you need to get a hold of me. The pros to going solo by yourself, not being on a team. The pro to it is, and I got AI, Google Bart AI to help me with it, these pros and cons, so I wouldn't miss any going through it. But anyway, the pros to going solo are you can do what you want when you want, which is, you don't have to check with anybody. You don't have to coordinate with anybody. You can just do as you please. All the equipment belongs to you. If you don't own it, you're not going to have it, or you'll have to borrow it. Those are the two pros for being solo. Now, the AI also assisted me in coming up with these cons to going solo. One is safety, and I firmly agree with that. I mean, some places you go to are not the most conducive to visiting and being safe. So there is safety in numbers. Not only that, but if you should get hurt, I like to have teams of 3 so somebody can stay with the injured party and somebody can go get the vehicle or go get help or arrange for transportation or something. So another con to going solo and very restrictive to you is that you have to bear all the cost. You have to pay for all the equipment. You have to pay all the entrance fees and stuff. And if you go to an event or something, you have a room by yourself because you're not sharing. So you wind up paying, it costs you more. Some sites, also, it's kind of nice to have somebody to share the experiences with. And if you go solo, you don't have anybody to share the experience with. That is a big thing too. Some sites you're not going to be able to get into solo because they know you probably don't have the insurance coverage they'd like to have. They don't want to take a chance. Whereas if you're with a team, then the team probably has insurance or should have insurance to cover any accidents and stuff. Of course, we all sign releases. We go to these things at our own risk. Not everybody can be responsible for accidents happening in places that are conducive to, not conducive to regular habitation. Also, how will your clients contact you if you have somebody wants to have a ghost hunt or wants to have their home investigated? How will they get hold of you? They have no way. The group has a website, and we're actively seeking people. We're actively seeking to help people. This is a thing you've got to consider going solo. Also, you need to consider that you can't be an expert at all things. You can't be an expert doing EVPs. You can't be an expert doing little floor plans and sketching them up and doing the records. You can't be an expert doing the research that needs to be done. And you can't be an expert doing all the pieces that have to fall into place. With that said, it also delays, it takes longer to do the investigation because you have to do all these individual pieces. It's all waiting on you. Whereas if you're a team, you break up the assignments and they're all being done simultaneously. So it doesn't take as long to do the investigation. You don't have anyone to turn to answer questions. If you have a question in your mind, do I plug this in here? Or what do I do here? So you don't have anybody to consult. And you also don't have a backup. Should you have something scheduled and something come up at the last minute and you're not able to go, there's nobody to cover for you. These are all things you have to consider when you decide to go solo on an investigation. Now, AI helped me come up with all these pros for being on a team. And I'm not saying this just because I'm on a team or that I lead a team, but it didn't take me long to decide I wanted to be on a team. So anyway, first off, you share the cost of the equipment. We ought to all be contributing a little bit every month to purchasing equipment, additional equipment. And like right now, we need a number of pieces of equipment. We also have a couple projects going. We need funding. But anyway, we share the cost of what the costs are for doing these investigations and stuff. And that's a big plus in being on a team. The team finds places to go. Sometimes a person will make a suggestion. Hey, we haven't been to this hotel in a while. Actually, I got a call a couple of weeks ago to go to a certain hotel. And so I called to check it out. Well, they didn't want us, unfortunately, because it turns out that it sounds like it's very interesting and very haunted. But at the same time, I'm not going to say who it was, and I'm not going to pursue it because they did not want their name tied to any social media or that, and simply it boils down to one thing. Whoever has made that decision doesn't have enough information about the paranormal. That's on them, not on us. So anybody that thinks that paranormal is negative in any way needs to rethink things because they don't have all the information they need to make that decision because it's not. It's easy to be on a team too because expenses are shared. Like sometimes when we go to events, we share rooms. We sometimes have 3-4 people in a room, and that cuts down on the cost when we go to these events. We also can split the gasoline mileage in the vehicle. Sometimes gasoline is pretty high here lately, and going up and down like a yo-yo. And sometimes that keeps us from being able to attend something. So we can share expenses, big advantage to being on a team. Another big advantage is we get to use some really cool equipment that we couldn't afford on our own. Big advantage, safety. We got plenty of people to help if we get in trouble. Also in numbers. If we're out and about in an area that's not considered safe, and some of our locations are in less than desirable areas to live in, of course, we could encounter some individuals, but they are not going to want to encounter us if we have, any kind of number. They don't want to come take on 5, 6, 7, 8 people. You know who you will be investigating with if you're part of a team. You've investigated with them a number of times. You know what they do or what they're really proficient at. You know what they like to do. They know what you like to do. And hopefully you get to do what you like to do for the team, whatever you're proficient at. Or, we'll divide into different teams, little smaller teams, to send out on different little crews. And you can head one of those teams, or you can do the piece that you like doing. It's all just us talking together and planning this thing and doing it together, working together. Team members share thoughts and questions. Sometimes somebody will come up with an idea we haven't thought about. They're thinking way outside the box. The box is so big that they're way out there. They're on the border to space. One particular one I'm thinking of was a number of years ago. Joe Acapella came over to my house, and he had put some big speakers in his truck and amped up the noise on his radio. And his thoughts were that maybe we could open another dimension or something with sound waves. And so we had cameras out and we're filming, and we've got his speaker system and his sound system turned up and everything's vibrating. The cameras are shaking. So we didn't really catch anything. We don't know, but it was a different thought, a different idea that we've never had before. And in today's time, now it's about 10 years later or so, people are starting to think about interdimensional travel more than they used to. It's being talked about more, and we're trying to understand it, and maybe sound has something to do with it. Not only that, but speaking of sound, a lot of the recordings that they're starting to find out are electromagnetic in nature rather than a sound wave, which is why we can't hear it when you collect an EVP, and the recorder picks it up. They're picking up electromagnetic waves, and we'll record that where our ears won't pick up electromagnetic signals. So we need to be thinking outside the box, share our thoughts, ask questions. We get a sense of belonging to the group from a big part of the group, from individuals that have a shared interest, a common interest. We like doing things together, and we bond together because we have this interest, and we're just like-minded folks. The group may be large enough to always have someone available to go. So if you have a little adventure you want to go on, and we have enough people in the team, you could call a few of them and see if somebody's bound to be available to go with you, go do something from time to time. It's a little camaraderie. And we're, as a team, going to be closer to each other than, we're friends. We're more than just team members. We're true friends. Also, we can learn from others. So as we're working together and we're learning from each other, we learn lots of things from each other. Sometimes you'll be watching somebody do a task that you've done in the past, and you'll see them do it different than you do it. And you'll say, hey, you know what? That's an easier way to do it than the way I do it. So I'm going to do it that way next time. And so we're always improving. And that's what we want to do. As a professional, we're professionals. We're trying to be professional. We conduct ourselves in a professional manner. And we're always improving as part of being professional. The whole goal is to be able to help clients and people understand the paranormal better. We're working together. That's one of our goals. And that's what we're going to work on. We form lasting friendships that last forever. Now, there are 5 people in the team right now, 5, 6, that have been on this team for 16 years. And so we have quite a common interest, and we know a lot about each other, and we've been growing up together for the last 16 years. It's kind of like Sierra Sky that's going to be on next week. I've known her for many, many years, and we've done a number of investigations together. And so we have a lifelong, well, no, not lifelong, but it's going on 2 decades now, which is a considerable amount of time. You learn about different cultures and different religions also while you're doing this paranormal stuff. The different members of the group are going to have different religious backgrounds. They're going to have different cultural backgrounds. Some are Italian, like Akabala. Some are German, like Strobin. And some are French, some are Indian. So, you learn from the different cultures. And so when we go to some of these clients, we're going to be dealing with different cultures and different religions, and the experience these team members bring from those cultures and those religions help us do the investigation better than if you were going solo. So these are pros to being part of a team. The cons to being on a team. AI helped me with these also. You don't always get to go where you want to go, but most of the team will want to go different. Some of the places, I mean, we form friendships, and we all kind of want to go. At the spur of the moment, we're ready to go. So, if we don't do it this week, we'll do it next week or the week after, but we'll get there. So we'll eventually go, whether or not it's this week or not. The equipment is not yours. Still, that's a con to the team. Politics sometimes come into play. Let's face it, we're all individuals, and sometimes we're trying to influence each other to get our way a little bit. That's politics. Sometimes we would like to see the team do certain things or buy certain equipment and move in different areas. Politics come into play. But we're a team. We have a common interest and a common goal. And as long as it fits in our goal, we're going to get it done. We're just going to do it. Schedules of different individuals come into conflict. Sometimes when you've got, say 10 people on the team, if you haven't scheduled out far enough ahead, chances are good that, if you come up the last minute on Thursday night and say, hey, tomorrow we got a client that has a problem, we can go, they'd like to have us come tomorrow night. Are you available? Well, chances are most of the team is not going to be available. However, we'll have enough to do the investigation. We'll come up and do it somehow. So we do. That's a con to being on a team is that sometimes there are conflicts in the schedule. Getting another con to being on a team is getting enough time to check out and how to use the cool equipment that we have. And we have quite a bit of cool equipment. We have thermal cameras. We have the remote CCTV, closed circuit television cameras, the 12 system camera. And we haven't rolled that out in a long time. We haven't used it. I don't even know if it's all working. Anyway, we have the Zoom recorder that not everybody's familiar with. We have a new digital tri-field meter that not everybody's familiar with. And we have a couple of the Nell meters that not everybody has used or been around. So we have some laser grids and stuff. So there are a number of tools, and if you go through the videos that I put on YouTube, you'll see some of the cool equipment we got, and you need to learn how to use it. So anyway, to get time for it. Now the big advantage in the next slide is you're going to find out how you can get that time. Additional steps. We're going to spend time learning about your equipment. You can learn about your equipment because, first off, we posted some YouTube videos on how to use some of the equipment, how to make some of it even. You can also visit sites like on the Zoom recorder. Go to the Zoom recorder site. Read all the features on the Zoom. Read the instruction manual on it. Some of the video cameras, go check them out. Find out what the instructions say. Some of the other equipment, check it out on the internet, find out what it says. Then when you got it in your hand, you can experiment with it, and you can find things that, or you read something about it, you say, oh, I haven't used that feature. Next time I have it, I'm going to try that feature and see how that works. So we're learning all the time. We're learning to do different tasks to be more valuable to the team. And as you learn more tasks, you are more valuable to the team. Now, if we go on an investigation and we need somebody to do EVPs, we're going to look for the better EVP persons to handle the EVPs. So if your skills are coming along in that area, we'd love to, call you and tell you, hey, we got a case, we need you to do the EVPs. Or you do floor plans and stuff. We need you to do that. You do research. You're the best at it. We need you to do research on this location. So it depends on the different types of things that we need. And the more skills you have to fill in these areas, the more opportunities you're going to get to attend. So you make a better team member by being versatile. We want to spend time every week educating ourselves and maybe reviewing some of the YouTube stuff that we put out there so that we remember what's expected of us and how to do these investigations. We look for ways to help our team. There are lots of things you can do every day of the week, for that matter, to help our team. One is research. There's research that can be done all the time. We've got some ongoing projects right now that need a ton of research. And if I had the funds right now and we're looking for funding, I would hire a research person just to do research for us so we could speed some things up we got going. Also, fixing equipment or keeping it repaired and in good repair and in top-notch working condition. It takes time to do that. If you've got some free time, you want to come by, come pick up, come by the house here and we'll work on it together. I generally have some free time, can work some free time in, and we'll work on getting the equipment brought up to snuff and make sure it's working. Also, I have made one of the Radio Shack hacks. So for doing EVPs, there are some different kits and things available that you can make some of your own equipment or make equipment for the team. So, we can get some of this stuff and you can spend some time making equipment, learning more about it. And you'll be an expert on that particular piece of equipment for sure, especially if you made it, and you'll be the one that when it breaks, you can fix it. Record keeping is pretty important. We need to be sure that we're going through our records, reviewing our records, and making comparisons of the different files and the information and compiling it in ways that we can understand what causes paranormal events or when we're more likely to have paranormal events and where the most haunted places are and things like that. Record keeping is endless. We need somebody to be helping on record keeping all the time. Reviewing evidence. I have evidence here still waiting to be reviewed from the last 4 investigations because I just am pressed for time on a lot of things. But anyway, there's EVPs to go through. There's thermal camera footage to go through. There's still video footage to go through. There's some DSL, single lens reflex camera footage to go through that I haven't studied it. I haven't blown it up, each picture individually, and checked every square inch of the picture. I've kind of briefly looked at it quickly, but I really, there probably are things in there. And of course, when we go to the color fades on the photography, you can see things that are that appear differently. So reviewing evidence takes a lot of times. It takes more time to review evidence than it does to do the investigation. I would say it probably takes 5 times more time to do the review than it does to do the investigation. Easily 5 times, maybe more. The next thing is fundraising. Perhaps you want to help us raise some funds. Maybe you have a bunch of things and maybe we can get some other team members together and we put together a garage sale and all the proceeds go to the team. And the team comes over at somebody's house and we set all these things out and we have a big garage sale and get rid of some of it or something like that. Or we have a bake sale or, some activity, car wash. There are lots of ways to raise money. And we could certainly, and at the same time, when you're doing these activities, you're still working together as a team, and you're still functioning together and becoming more of a unit, and spending time together, learning to like each other a whole lot more. We also have a place where you can donate some funds, and that is the GoFundMe account. And the account number that GoFundMe, if you want to put it in there, it's GoFundMe/54033011C. You could go there anytime. I'll put a link on one of our sites. You could go there and deposit money that will go into our account eventually. They do it periodically. But anyway, we have a $50,000 goal on there. We've raised $10. So, we got a long way to go on there. Also, if you're interested and you're not on a team, on somebody's team, and you'd like to be a part of our team, you can go to Facebook groups, Paranormal Houston Investigations, and join our team there. We have 101, 102 people on there. But they aren't as active, but we would love to have you active. If you've taken the video courses that we have on YouTube, we have some of them on our Facebook pages there to tell you which ones to go take. You're ready to go on a ghost hunt with us, and you'll understand, and you'll fit in, and you will be helpful to us when we take you. So, and shoot us an email. Let us know that you're ready, or where you are in your training. Or if you have questions, contact us. We'll help you any way we can to help you be a better investigator. That's part of our mission at Houston Paranormal Investigations, is to educate people about the paranormal. And you're wanting to learn about it. It's part of the education and part of our mission. We're happy to help you. So we look forward to hearing from you, and I hope to see you next week on the next podcast. I'm going to go ahead and end the session here. I'm going to quit sharing. I'm going to stop the recording.